What's going on, guys? It's your boy Burroaks 77 with my partner Matkafee coming to you live for Box to Box. Box to Box, as always, is sponsored by our friends over at Pickett Sports and Boom Fantasy. Pickett is a great tool that I use to track my profits and losses, line shop, all of that good stuff to help me stay competitive in the gambling market. Boom is a great daily fantasy app that covers a lot of sports and a lot of areas that are unserved by sports books. It's one of the only daily fantasy apps that allows you to bet player props, allows you to participate in contests involving player prop over and unders. It's a really fun area, and it definitely helps serve people that aren't served by sports books. So, Boom Daily Fantasy, great tool to have. Man, we got a big soccer slate this weekend with a lot of juicy numbers. We have a couple of tasty games today. I really like the looks of this Wolfsburg game. When we get lineups, we'll definitely come back and talk about that. We also have the return of UCL midweek, which is going to be fantastic. We got games on Tuesday and Wednesday. I know McAfee typically hosts a Twitter space that myself and a bunch of other handicappers participate in. If he's doing that again, I'm more than look forward to having that conversation. And then a little self plug for me. I'm going to be writing articles once a week again for Flash Picks. If you were around for World Cup, we obviously all had a bunch of content for that. We did very well. We're going to run it back for UCL, so I'm excited about that. And then, yeah, so let's jump right into the weekend slate because we have a lot to cover, and I think we have a lot of really good games with some good numbers out there. First up on Saturday, we have West Ham versus Chelsea. West Ham did just get a nice little surprising result on the road, drawing Newcastle 1-1. Newcastle came out standing on the gas pedal. They had 2 goals in the first, minute and a half. One was ruled out by VAR. And then West Ham got a goal second half, and it just kind of fizzled out from there. West Ham, nice job, I guess. I still don't think this team's good. I still don't think this Chelsea team's very good either. As you guys know, I faded them last week and took Fulham +1 that we cashed on. Probably should have taken the double chance, but hey, what are you going to do? I do think that Chelsea have had some more time together to practice. They'll probably be gelling a little bit better. They are still struggling to score goals, obviously, but they're creating really dangerous chances. West Ham is in shambles. I don't really respect them, and I think +120 on Chelsea here is the move.
Yeah, I want to see. I was willing to buy in without really seeing enough last week with Mudryk in the first half. I thought he would have much more of an impact. Yeah, he was pretty anonymous in that first half, and I think he was rightfully taken off. Raheem Sterling was able to come back, so I think we'll see him start this match. It seems like Potter's obviously trying to figure out what his best 11 is going to be. Very difficult with all the guys on the training table that they have, but I would assume João Felix comes back into the team. Raheem Sterling starts. I don't think Havertz is going to get dropped because I don't think they have anybody with the ability to play that center forward position any better than he is, even though,
right.
If you've been watching Havertz long enough, he's one of those guys that needs 5 chances to get the 1 goal. But
yeah, German Morata.
Yeah. Between him and Timo, when they were up top together, Timo not staying on side.
Yeah,
and
Timo
Havertz
is somewhere in Germany offsides right now. I can guarantee it.
But yeah, I like the Chelsea setup. I imagine it's going to be. We see Enzo again in the holding midfield spot. Mason Mount probably at the attacking midfield spot. And then you've got Havertz and Felix and Sterling as your front three, and I think that's enough for them to, like you said, the money line plus 120 makes some sense. This is a spot where I would like to back Chelsea. At home, their crowd can get on their ass a little bit, rightfully so. A lot of loose possessions. Reece James, he got a good 60, 70 minutes in. He's yeah, of all the Chelsea squad, I rate Reece James the highest. I've said in the chats and stuff, if I could pull one Chelsea player to join Arsenal, I would go for Reece James. I think he's so important to what they do. And so getting him further and further along with his fitness is going to be huge.
I think he's got a good matchup too because West Ham doesn't have a ton of pace out there on the wings either.
Yeah, it's going to be a wait and see. I definitely want to see this lineup before I lock something in.
You think
Kepa's
Chelsea?
always capable of making a mistake, so your money line, as long as it's one goal, West Ham are in it. They can get that fluke here. So if you told me it ended 1-1, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a London derby. Points are always tough to come by in these London derbies, and early kickoffs they tend to be a little flat. So if this thing is 0-0 at halftime and then maybe 1-1 in the second half, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't hate somebody taking a bet on Chelsea here at plus money. I think there is some value there. But like you said, West Ham are struggling. They're not creating a lot. They've only scored 18 goals this season, and Chelsea have only scored 22 goals this season. So that's about 1-1 to me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It reads a 1-1 to me. But if Chelsea put this nice lineup out, you do have to worry about how much they have played together and how much chemistry you can really have, because so many guys have been in and out of the training table, and feels like 2 or 3 of these guys, have only just arrived last month. So that understanding of where guys will be isn't there. There's not that anticipatory movement and playing of the ball yet. So yeah, gun to my head, I'd call a 1-1, but I don't hate taking Chelsea at plus 120 here either.
Yeah, that's where I'm at because Chelsea hang their hat on their defensive ability. They did a great job defending. Obviously, they're a little off on offense with all the moving pieces, but Fulham had good opportunities that Chelsea was able to snuff out there. Their back line is very competent. I think their midfield even is playing well together. So I think it's going to be very tough for West Ham to score here, even though they're at home. I don't see West Ham putting up 2, that's for sure.
Right.
So, I think Chelsea can get 1. Like you said, it could be 1-1. I think Chelsea probably grind out a 1-0, 2-0 win here. West Ham struggles to finish. They do. Samacha isn't getting on the field. Antonio's clearly not the guy. Bowden's a nice piece, but I mean, take your chances. He's worth playing when he's over plus 300. I don't particularly love his value below that, just because it's tough for him to get service. It's tough for him to get looks. He's not the threat that these other guys are. Chelsea still hasn't scored 3 goals in a single match this year. So the move is definitely the under, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I like Chelsea here. I think this is their kind of get right game. I think the expectations on them getting right after spending all that money and having no time to train together were a little too high, which is why I took Fulham. But I am comfortable backing Chelsea here because this West Ham team is not good. Like they're not good.
I would rate West Ham's midfield better than Chelsea's midfield. I know that may seem a little crazy, but like Rice and Paqueta are better players, and I think that they'll just kind of they already are these teams are both going to play
production though.
Yeah,
like that's the problem when you look at West Ham is their play doesn't lead to production.
Yeah, they both play kind of like a three at the back with a holding guy in front. And so, yeah, but all of that with like Derby, early kickoff, all these things, like, yeah, I would say Chelsea, if you're wanting to back them, rock and roll. Under 2.5 goals is another look I like in the match. 1-1 draw. I'm telling you, I think that's the thing I like the most in this one. But again, it's all kind of dependent on lineups. We could see some surprises. They could shake things up, but yeah, who knows?
For sure. Supreme, we will cover the Wolfsburg game when we get lineups out. We'll jump over to that. We're covering Saturday EPL right now. J Money, this is not or this isn't our college hoops show. But I will have plenty of college hoops content later. Box to box, we just kind of focus on looking ahead for the weekend of soccer and the games we got today. So we'll keep it moving. We got Arsenal hosting Brentford this weekend. I know you're gonna have a bunch to say about Arsenal. I definitely think they probably win here. I do think Brentford scores a goal. Their offense has been cooking. They're playing really good football right now. I like both teams to score a lot at plus 110. I think Ivan Tooney at plus 310, plus 325 is a very, very nice price for a guy who takes PKs, has never missed one in his career, and just gets finds the back of the net. He's been in great form. He hasn't scored in 2 or 3 matches, but his team's been carrying the load. The opportunities have been there. I like Tooney's price a lot. I like both teams to score at plus 110. I think Arsenal probably get the job done here, but minus 275 on the money line is a very, very steep price. I think there's some value in looking at Brentford here.
So I would agree with most of what you said, except Arsenal had a flat result in their last game against Everton. So this is it's a bad spot to be the next team. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, you want to catch Arsenal in the spot where, like, okay, they've had a really nice run. Everton was just a perfect storm of early kickoff, away from home. This one being normal kickoff at home, bouncing back after a loss. I do think Arsenal kind of put Brentford to the sword here. I don't necessarily think a clean sheet like you said, both teams to score makes some sense. Brentford can hurt you even with small, possession numbers. They still have enough quality to find the back of the net with limited opportunity. But to me, this seems like an Arsenal win, probably like a 3-1, where you look and you're like, okay, yeah, this Arsenal are back to their better form here. I think, it just a lot are lining up that kind of stacks against where Brentford, where I wouldn't want it. If it was early kickoff at Brentford, and Arsenal weren't coming off the back of a loss, I would love it a lot more. I just think a lot of things are stacked up to give Arsenal the advantage here. And so I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to go about betting it. Obviously, the Arsenal lineup is pretty straightforward. There's rumors that Partey's going to be out. There were rumors for that Everton match. He was able to start and play an hour. Jorginho came in and played well enough. If he starts here, there is a bit of a drop off, but I think he was a good signing for this very reason. Partey can't play 90 minutes every game. We've got Europe coming up as well. So yeah, if we have to, throw Jorginho in there, then so be it. But other than that, I expect a full strength Arsenal side, and I expect a bounce back performance here. So word from training all week is everybody's chomping at the bit to get back out there, and everybody's been real sharp. So It wouldn't surprise me at all if we get the front three all get a goal again. Like, that how that hit a couple times. I think that's all kind of in play. Um, Eddie's been, nails since he's moved into the starting lineup for Jesus after the injury. I like his price for a goal at plus 140. Shop around. I'm sure there's some better lines, but when you're getting like plus $1.50 for the Arsenal striker at home, like that's pretty rock solid price. And Saka 2-1. I like that a lot as well. So yeah, I guess we can move on.
All right. Next, we got Fulham at Nottingham Forest. Fulham obviously got an impressive draw on the road at Stamford Bridge. Nottingham got a nice result against Leeds that got Jesse Marsh fired. That's a whole different topic that we can jump into later. As far as the game's concerned, Fulham at home, I like them a lot at minus 115. Nottingham has definitely found a little bit of offense. Their pieces are starting to fit together well. I think both teams to score at minus 105 has value here. I think over 2.5 at minus 105 has value here. I think taking both teams to score over 2.5 at plus 150 definitely has value here. I like goals in this game. I think Mitrovic gets right here. He subbed on in their cup game versus not maybe it was Southampton or whoever or no, it was Sunderland. They played Sunderland in the middle of the week. He's subbed on, got an assist. His name's up back on the score sheet. I like Fulham to handle business here at home. They're playing way better football than anybody expected, and they're very, very tough at home. I like how the midfield's playing. I like how they're defending. I like the opportunities they're creating. I like how they're handling their set pieces. I like Fulham to score here. Probably, I don't have the price on it, but team total is a pivot for me as well if you don't like back in money lines. But I think the value here is in Fulham at home.
Yeah, I think Cooper, since the Boxing Day kind of restart, his Forest team used to be pretty wide open. They were getting into these wild, higher scoring matches. And if you look back in the league the last month, they got a 1-0 with Southampton. They got a 2-0 against Leicester, a 1-1 against Bournemouth, 1-0 over Leeds. They did have some higher scoring games in the cup. United's attack was just a little too much for him. But I feel like this is another 1-1 kind of a thing. I don't know if I see as many goals as you do. I think that Mitro being out of form right now is definitely blunting the Fulham attack a little bit. This could be a nice get right spot, but I like the defensive reinforcements that Forest have brought in, bringing in a world class. Now he's not anymore, but he was not far off. Keylor Navas in goal is huge to bring that level of experience and quality into net. I like the signing Felipe from Atletico Madrid. He was in I think he was in the La Liga team of the season last year, and now he couldn't get a game for Atleti this season for whatever reason. But bringing in him, I think is another international quality defender. They Forest seemed like, hey, we're gonna be tough to break down. We're gonna try to hit you on the counter with Brennan Johnson and Gibbs White and use that pace. It's tough. I don't have a strong lean right now either way. Mitro, if you told me he gets the start and you get the full 90 out of him, I do kind of like taking his goal here at plus money just because of the opportunity that he'll be afforded. But yeah, it doesn't give me a ton of confidence either way. I think I think there's some value potentially on one of the if you go the other way on one of the Forest goal scorers. For example, I said Brennan Johnson. He's almost 4-1 to score. I think there's some nice value there. But yeah, tough one for me. because if Fulham were in better form, I think I'd love to jump all over him here at the money line price. And I still might play that Mitro win cast if I look at lineups and I really like it and it all makes sense, then I may fire that off. But yeah, I just they're not giving me a ton of confidence with their form so far. I mean, the FA Cup win against Sunderland aside, you look at the league. They had failed to score against Newcastle, failed to score against Tottenham, failed to score against Chelsea. Like there's a pattern here where without Mitro fit, without
if
Mitro
you
fit
throw
and
in
firing.
Arsenal, those are the 4 best defensive teams in the EPL, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just one of those things. I want to see, Leicester. They scored 1 goal against. They just haven't been as the goals haven't been as free flowing as they were in the first half of the season. And I think some of that's down to just Mitro's fitness issues. I still don't think he's 100%, and it's affecting his ability to jump. You could tell like he doesn't have that like same spring where he would climb over guys. A lot of his headers are like flat-footed. He's not rising up and heading things down into the ground. It's kind of like I'm big and strong. I'll just muscle it, and I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, I hope to be proved wrong. I know everybody's going to be on that Mitro bandwagon here at plus money, so I don't want to poo-poo it too much, but
no, and like you're saying, like I definitely agree. I think that penalty kick foul definitely was in his
yeah, the
head a
double
little
kick.
bit. I like seeing it. I like what I saw midweek when he came on. He got involved in the goal. He showed me a lot of
Mm-hmm.
what I was looking for against Sunderland that I think will translate well to coming home to Fulham to take on a Nottingham Forest team that is definitely on the upswing a little bit,
Yeah.
but still is right there in the relegation battle, where Fulham has been playing a lot closer to top 6 than bottom 3 football, in my opinion. I think that being home here after getting a midweek cup win where they did rest some guys, and I know it's Chelsea, but going to the bridge and coming out of there with a 0-0 draw is huge for Fulham. Like they're a newly promoted club. They're playing good football. They're collecting points, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them playing European football if they get it together and come around here in the second half of the season and show me some of the stuff they were showing me right after the World Cup, because they're playing good ball.
Yeah, I mean, and with Chelsea in transition, Liverpool in transition, you get 2 of your traditional big 6, definitely in rebuilding mode right now. Newcastle grabbed one of those spots with both hands, but that
Yep.
that that other big 6 spot is there. So yeah, your Brighton, your Brentford, your Fulham, one of these teams might pip them. I still think Chelsea somehow, some way get themselves back into Europe. They're not. It's all pretty close, obviously. Still, we've got. Some teams have 16 games, some teams have 18 games. Lot of points left still to fight for, but yeah, if you're going to have European ambitions, you need to take care of business here and get all 3 points against Forest, who, if they do stay up, great. I think they're a traditional power. One of my best friends, Dom, shout out Dom. He's a season ticket holder there at Forest, and we were just talking the other day about it. I think they will have enough to stay up. They've just added too much quality into this team. I know it's about making it all click, but their squad now is quite a bit significant. And I think Bournemouth and Southampton are down. It's just going to
Yeah.
be a matter of who can win that race away from the bottom.
Yep.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't rooting for Forest to stay up. So I want Leeds and West Ham to stay up too. And I want Everton to stay up. So I guess that means I'm rooting for Wolves or Leicester to go down.
Yeah.
um, But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll go all the way towards the end of the season here.
Next up, we got Leicester versus Tottenham. I've been on the wrong side of Leicester lately. I can't figure out when this club's gonna suck and when they're gonna come out and they're gonna score goals. That said, I'm taking Tottenham money line here. Tottenham at plus 110 versus Leicester. They don't set Leicester doesn't set up well to play Tottenham. Tottenham invites you to attack. They're pretty sound defensively against a club like Leicester. Having James Madison back, having Harvey Barnes back has definitely been a nice little boost for Leicester. They still suck at set pieces, taking them and defending them. They're still very suspect in the back. Harry Kane at plus 130 here after breaking Tottenham's record. I like Kane for a goal here. I like Tottenham money line. It's just a very Leicester doesn't have what they do well doesn't set up well against Tottenham because Tottenham plays to counter Leicester very well. They can sit back, invite pressure, stay sound, spring counterattacks, which Leicester don't have the pace to stop anymore. And Tottenham, when they get the ball and they start a counter, they're going to be very dangerous. And Harry Kane, he's feeling it right now. So I got to back the Harry Kane here, and I like Tottenham money line.
Yeah, I think I do too. Obviously the wind will be at their backs after beating City. Um, not much more for confidence than a win against the champs can do for a team. Um, like you said, Leicester, they're entertaining. Like if this was a fight, they're like your Jorge Masvidal's of the world, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna get out there and you're gonna get a good show no matter what. Like they will not shell up. They'll come to attack. I hope for an open game. I think goals will be actually flying in on this one. I do think there is a great. I mean, Kane at plus money to me, you got to take. He's in good form, so go ahead and lock that in if you will, because it's. I think by the time the match kicks off, it may move down towards minus 110 or something like that. It's a lot of people don't want to lock that in and wait a whole day. So some of these guys that there's no fitness issues and they're guaranteed to start. It's pretty much go ahead, lock it in. And you have to go to a book that voids non.
Uh-oh. Is this my issue? Okay, cool. All right, we have a little issue with McAfee. I tend to agree with him. Leicester at home, there's definitely a strong possibility that they get a goal there. So if you like both teams to score or over 2.5, I definitely think that's a viable option. When McAfee comes back, we will cover some Wolverhampton stuff because we should be getting that lineup here shortly, if not having it already. Uh, Next up on the Saturday slate, we have Southampton hosting Wolves. Wolves played a great game over the weekend. They got a result versus Liverpool. They actually smacked Liverpool around. They won that 3-0. Southampton, they're in terrible form. The only redeeming player on there for me is James Ward-Prowse. Wolves are a dark horse. They've started playing good football. They're feeling it. They got a bunch of those Portuguese guys in that all play really well, communicate well. Wolves are very sound defensively. It is on the road. Southampton can give people issues in their building, but the fact that I can get Wolves on a draw no bet at minus 125, I just think there's a ton of value there. Wolves are playing good football right now. They're feeling it. They're trying to dig themselves out of a relegation spot. And I think they might have the tools to do it here. So I really like Wolves on the draw no bet at around minus 125. I'm not sure Southampton get a goal. If they do, it's probably going to be James Ward-Prowse. Like, let's be honest. If they haven't gotten a lot of production out of anybody else, and he's been backpacking the goals on that team. So that's where I would have it. I like Wolves to win 1-0, 2-0, kind of in that neighborhood. I don't I don't necessarily see a super high scoring game here, but I think it'll be competitive and the Wolves will be able to grind out a result on the road. Taking a look real quick. Yep, we got some lineups for Wolfsburg. We got Wind is starting at striker. I like him for a goal. We got Patrick Wermer on the right side flank, who's been dishing a pretty good amount lately. He had 2 assists, one versus Hertha Berlin and one versus Freiburg. He's definitely a little look for an assist. He played 16 minutes in a cup game versus Union Berlin and didn't get much time. Played well, I thought, versus Byron, but it is Byron, so it's tough to get any sort of production when you're playing Byron. Didn't get on the score sheet in that 4-2 loss, but played 65 minutes and played solid in my opinion. So I will be looking at the price on a win anytime goal, and I am going to lock in. I'm gonna lock in Wolves money line at minus 105 on MGM. That's my play for this one. McAfee's back. It looks like we got him.
Yeah.
So I was just talking a little Wolves. I like the price. I like the lineup. I like the price on Wolves minus 105 on MGM. And I think I'm probably going to take Wind for an anytime. I'm going to shop that around. I'm going to give you the floor, and I'm going to go grab my tablet so that I can shop while you're talking.
Yeah, because I got Wolves 150 here on FanDuel.
Plus 150?
Plus 150, yep.
That's
So,
a massive change from before lineups came out.
right. I didn't hear any of Oaks's talking points. The desktop froze up. So I apologize for that if I repeated anything. But yeah, I feel the same thing. I think Wolves are finding a bit of form here. I think their squad is rounding out and playing pretty well. So I like taking a chance here at plus 150. I never like a ton of goals necessarily. I know they were able to light Liverpool up, but I just Southampton to me I don't feel good backing them for a goal. If anything, they're going to be a 1-goal kind of a team. And so under 2.5, obviously minus 162 is not that playable. But I think grabbing Wolves at plus 150 is your best way to attack this thing. In terms of if you're looking for a goal scorer, wait to see your lineups, of course. I think Cunha has finally surpassed Jimenez in the pecking order here. And I think if he's starting, he's a decent shout for a goal. Like we always mention when we talk about Wolves, Ruben Neves being the penalty taker and a threat from distance, set pieces, as well as just in the run of play, taking a crack from distance. His shot on target. Let me take a peek at that. Scrolling, excuse me.
I apologize. I did talk about the Southampton Wolves game to finish out that EPL slate.
Yeah.
When I said minus 105, I meant Wolves in Germany because we just got that.
Okay.
So
right.
that's on me for the confusion. But I got what you were talking about. Because I did touch on that game.
Got it.
Well, you were having some camera issues, but
yeah. So just my last thought on it. Neves right now, it's plus 100 for a shot on target. I think is a decent shout. So we have lineups in Germany. You said you like Wolfsburg minus 105. The
Yep.
line movement seems to be going in your direction. I see them up to minus 120
They're plus 100 on MGM right now. If you
right
guys
now.
want MGM, yeah.
There you go. So, Schalke, their defense is pretty bad against the higher quality teams. They usually get ripped apart. Wolfsburg have been ascending, I would say, is a fair description of their form. I'm looking at the lineups now, so live reaction to things. I don't see any major surprises here. I think Wimmer seems to always be involved in either scoring one or setting one up. Jonas
Yeah,
Vind,
I was
of course.
talking about him for an assist as well.
Yeah. I think you can. Yeah, I do like them to. Gosh, I got burnt yesterday taking a team to advance and then to score over 1.5 goals in the Ajax match. I was like, Dutch Cup game. There's no way this thing ends 1-0.
Yeah, there's no way there's no goals here.
Right, but it's like both teams' score was like minus 170, and like the team total over 1.5 was like minus 145, and then somehow, some way, they grind out a 1-0. But this is a similar kind of thing. Like I don't see Wolfsburg. It's not really in their DNA to get a 1-0 and try to grind this thing out. And Schalke aren't good enough to just like sit on a 1-0.
Nope.
So no matter who scores, I think there's going to be goals in this thing. I think it's a good play towards the over, but again, I got burned on that yesterday. I got a little greedy. I could have just taken Ajax on the money line. This is a very eerie similar. Like the prices are eerily similar to what the Dutch Cup game was yesterday in terms of the Wolfsburg and Ajax similarities with the goals, the team totals, stuff like that. So if anything, I guess don't try to leave. I was getting greedy trying to squeeze a few extra pennies out of something when I could have just taken the money line. Maybe that's the play. But if somehow this becomes a 2-2 and you take Wolfsburg team total or something like that, you might have a cash there. But I want to make sure that the price is playable. Let's see, away team over 1.5. See, that's minus 111. So you're not even getting a better price. You could just scoop up that. If they somehow get this one up, this money line at plus 100 over on MGM, that's better value than my team total here at minus 110. If you don't have MGM and you have FanDuel and you're looking at the money line's minus 120. I think I would go team total and save the 10 cents that way. So if you're not somebody that's taking advantage of multiple books, maybe that's a good look. I think I might be on that team total here. I have had some good luck recently picking goal scorers, especially over in Germany. It's been it's my favorite league to bet goals in right now because there is just so many of them flying in. And then so looking at this lineup,
Jonas wins plus 180 on DK. I'm locking that in now.
Yeah, I mean that's a very, very, very solid look. Svanberg, he was amongst the goals recently as well. We talked about Wimmer's threat to set one up. That's a good look. Is Maxi Arnold still taking penalties for them?
I don't know. I haven't seen them win a penalty kick since
in a long time. I think they had a PK, if I'm not mistaken, a week, maybe it's probably been like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I'm pretty sure Arnold took it, but he's I think the team total is my favorite look. And if I were to play a goal scorer, then I think, like you said, let's get on Jonas Vind. I'm down for a squad ride on that. I think it makes some sense. And then yeah, Schalke. I mean, they just sold their best player, so it kind of hurts their attack a little bit. I think I don't. I'm trying to. I'm struggling to see where a goal will come from for them. Not to say it's impossible, obviously. Them at home, they do get good support, even if their form is bad. So, yeah, I'm fine to move on if you are.
For sure. Yeah. So real quick, just to recap, I locked in. I like the money line on Wolfsburg. I don't think Schalke have enough here to stop Wolfsburg at home. I do like McAfee's play. I think that's a good pivot. If you aren't getting better price on Wolfsburg money line than you are team total over 1.5, I would pivot to 1.5. I think they score. I think Wolfsburg finds 2 goals here pretty easily. Schalke's not super stout defensively. And then I'm going to take Jonas Wind. He's playing good ball. He's scored in 2 of his last 4. Plus 180 on the road in Schalke, who aren't that good, is a very nice price. Dope. All right, so we finished covering the EPL on Saturday. We're going to jump over to Germany. We got a couple of really nice German games on Saturday. Bremen is hosting Dortmund, and they're, I think Dortmund are finding some nice form here. They've definitely tightened up a little bit defensively. Their offense is firing on all cylinders. Shout out Kareem Adeyemi for getting us that goal the other day. I told you my boy was going to stay hot. He's seen it hit the back of the net. If you're familiar with what he did over at RB Salzburg, I would just expect to continue to see more and more and more of that now that he's found the back of the net in Bundesliga. Haller, I don't want to say it was wasteful, but he had a couple of opportunities that should have been in the back of the net the other day that took him a couple of tries to finish.
Mhm.
That's going to happen with a guy coming back after testicular cancer and playing in Germany at the Bundesliga levels and not in a cup game. It's tough. So yeah, I mean, I just I like Dortmund here. They have a nice spot. Their number is, I want to say it's like only minus 120. I'm trying to find it on my sheet. But yeah, Dortmund's got a nice number here. Bremen can definitely score. Both teams to score over 2.5 is probably a look. Jude Bellingham's in great form with shots, goals, service. So those are some guys I would look at for Dortmund. And then, I think they handle their business here in Bundesliga, try and pick up 3 points on the road, and then they gotta go play Chelsea in UCL. So they'll turn right around. I think if Dortmund somehow gets a comfortable lead, you'll see a lot of guys come off, try and get some minutes of rest because, like I said, they got Chelsea in UCL, and that's a very winnable matchup for them with how Chelsea's playing right now.
Yeah, let's. I'm going to pull the game up here real fast. Get the bubbles, get you?
Apologize.
Yeah, you're all right.
Trying to do too many things at once.
No worries. I was just putting some money in the book here so I can lock in on this Wolfsburg stuff. But yeah, I think like you mentioned, the form's looking good. They got a lot of guys coming back here and getting reintegrated after some time out. You mentioned Haller. Marco Reus is another guy who missed a lot of time this season. And he is getting reintegrated here. They've got a lot of these good young attacking midfielders and wingers. Like, it's tough. We're seeing Gio have to be a super sub, and that kind of sucks. I'd like to see him have a more regular starting role, but I don't feel like Werder Bremen are the team I want to get in the way of this Dortmund bus with right now. You mentioned the look ahead potentially for Europe, which is always dangerous for some of these teams that do have matches coming up. But Dortmund do have a lot of pressure right now because they have had so many injuries and have had a lot of disappointing results.
And there's blood in the water with Bayern dropping a bunch of points. Like
Yeah.
Dortmund and Union Berlin are sniffing right at the heels of being number one in Bundesliga.
Yeah, the Bundesliga, I mean, um, I'm not going to say the race is wide open just yet, but it does look like it could be,
It's
especially
the
if
most
Bayern
open it's been
in a while.
in a
Right.
decade.
Yeah, it's there if these teams can keep building on it and stay consistent. Because yeah, Bayern have had to chop and change, and we see, you take a talismanic striker out of a team, and Bayern. I mean, Choupo-Moting has been pretty consistent, all things considered. Thomas Mueller has played a little center forward for him as well as Serge
Did a
Gnabry
great
and
job
stuff.
last match.
Yeah, it's
his vocal leadership on the pitch is
Yeah.
something that can't be
Yeah.
ignored either. I mean, Mueller's been doing it for a decade plus over there. He knows where guys are supposed to be. He's able to play the game and direct other people's traffic well, which is something I thought they were missing greatly with him not in the starting lineup. It's good to see Mueller back in there. And when he plays striker, like I know that he's the assist god, but like when he plays, the man's got shooting boots.
Yeah, he does need to shoot, especially if he's playing center forward. If you transition over to the Bayern Bochum match, like we have to handicap the fact that Kimmich will be suspended for this match. I don't like their price at minus 800, minus 900. I think obviously
You
that's
don't
a
want
little
to put up 900 to try and return a hundo?
a hundo. Yeah, I'm gonna sit that one out. I do think goals would be the way to attack it, because Kimmich, you take him out of this team, then you're really got a void there in the middle of the park. And so
he's been their best player on the pitch besides Mueller since coming back from World Cup.
Yeah, I think he's so important to what they do, and I think a lot of people may just look at that and they're like, "Oh, Bayern," and not realize that he's going to be missing. But so Gravenbach and I guess Goretzka will probably be the midfield duo there. Like with any time with Bayern, you want to wait to see the lineups. If you can grab, like right now, I'm looking at Musiala, great shorthanded goal in that one. So I think maybe that will do a wonder for his confidence and maybe play him at plus money.
Games with a goal for him. That's 2 in a row, right? Including the cup match versus Mainz.
Yes,
one versus Mainz.
And so I think Coman has also been in good form.
Probably should have had the Hattie versus Wolfsburg, but he put in a really nice performance there.
So I like those guys at plus money versus their counterparts at minus. Gnabry and Choupo-Moting and Sané are all on the wrong side of the plus, the plus 100 there. So I think Germany is, again, this slate, we're getting spoiled to have all the I won't say all of them, but a lot of the big teams are playing all at the shotgun 9:30 start. So I know somebody's going to smack a goal scorer parlay.
Goal scorer parlay. So Supreme in chat. Yeah, I did take Jonas Wind. I locked him in at plus 180 and over on DraftKings. That was the best price available to me. Feel free to shop that around. It opened better, or before lineups, it was better on Barstool, but that price has since come down. Best price to me was on DraftKings. Sticking with Germany, we got another good game that I definitely want to talk about, and that is RB Leipzig is hosting Union Berlin. Union Berlin's playing really good football right now. They had PFOC come on, our young American, and get them a game-winning goal to cash myself and some others a ticket last week to win 2-1. Union Berlin sitting in second place right now behind Byron. They smell blood in the water. You know, they're a good team. That said, going on the road to RB Leipzig is always tough. RB Leipzig is dominant at home. It's a tough travel in Germany. It's probably one of the farthest cities to travel for domestically for them. So that definitely plays into it. I think there's goals galore in this game. I love RB Leipzig at home. Their team total for over 1.5 whole game is plus 100. So I like that. I've been yelling about how I don't like Portuguese Morata there, and I want to see Forsberg get more tick. The Omo injury is going to force us to see more Forsberg tick, and I like what he's done with his opportunities. He creates chances, and he doesn't miss, whereas Sylvia definitely misses. Like, that's why I call him Portuguese Morata. He'll get 4 or 5 big opportunities and net one, but he should be netting 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, he's not as clinical as you would like. You wonder if Poulsen will eventually maybe get some starts ahead of him. Timo Werner just can't stay on side. He's so frustrating to bet on because he gets into so many good spots. But you know, part of that is because he leaves so early. You know, I guess. But he's fast enough. He doesn't need to. It is a frustrating one. I think team total for Leipzig. I like them at home to net a couple goals. Let me see what the price is on the team total.
It's over 1.5 is even money.
Yep, that's the way I would attack this game. I think Leipzig will get at least 2 at home here, and I think that getting that kind of price is nice. I don't see Union being able to. I mean, the plus 400 here tells you everything you need to know. Like, it's a heavy task for them, and so maybe you can pair it with Leipzig money line, but I again, every element you add to one of those is a stumbling block. So, you know, you could try to pick your goal scorer here. I guess, you know, it's hard to move away from Timo just because he'll play most of the game, and you know he'll get a couple of chances, but Soboslai has been in pretty good form as well. He kind of plays off the right flank for them.
Yeah.
He had a brace in a couple games ago, a couple really nice strikes.
Both goals off set pieces, by the way.
Yeah, I think he could. I kind of like his price at over $2 as a potential play. Silva being over $2, if he's starting, you almost have to just take
I mean,
slice
again, it's the Portuguese Morata thing. It's like, well, he's big and he's there. So like, if he doesn't finish one of 4 opportunities, then fuck me for playing him. But
what do you think about if you're going to do a goal scorer or assist kind of thing? I think Silva to score or assist at plus 135, because he does lay it off well. He can play kind of with his back to goal and can set up something. I kind of almost like that extra security of a goal involvement, and potentially, because I do see them kind of scoring and playing it with like a Dortmund guy like a Marco Reus or a Bayern guy like a Musiala. I could see a parlay like that of to score or assist guys potentially scoring. I think I might have something like that in the account tomorrow.
Yeah, I think like you were saying with Sabatai, or however you say his name, the Hungarian out there, I think he's a great look as for assists. He's always involved out there on the right when it comes to distributing the ball. He is obviously a threat on set pieces. His shot on target a lot of times is kind of hanging around even money against especially a team like Union Berlin. They don't expect the books don't expect a ton of goals here. I personally do, just because I know Leipzig at home is a wagon. I see them scoring 2. And Union Berlin on the road, I mean, they're second place in Bundesliga. They clearly have the talent to get goals with PFOC. I like them to score at least one, if not two here. I don't personally, I'm not going to play Leipzig on the money line. I think the value is better on the team total because I think Union Berlin could very easily grind out a 2-2 draw here.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
Heading over to Italy, we have on Saturday Lazio versus Atalanta. This is going to be a sick kit game because both of these guys have the freshest kit on the planet.
Did we?
Atalanta.
I was sorry that did we talk Milan and Torino yet?
No.
Okay. Since that one kicks off and we have lineups, you want to start there before we go to Saturday, or what do you think?
Sure.
Okay.
Milan are playing like absolute shit.
Yeah.
They're garbage. They're garbage form. They sat Leao the other day, which was a terrible mistake. Torino are actually playing good football. They can defend. Leao's back on the pitch today, so good for them for making a good choice. I don't know. I'm not a huge Giroud guy. I've said it time and time again, but he's always worth a look. My biggest thing with Milan is like with Tremore out, they suck in the midfield and they suck defensively. Like he's the anchor back there that does everything for that team. So they can't keep balls out of the back of their net. Not that Torino is a major scoring powerhouse, but like if Milan's struggling to score and they can't keep balls out of the back of their net, they're going to get boat raced like they did 5-2 at Sassuolo.
Yeah, I think Leao to score or assist at plus 105 is if you're wanting to parlay something today, maybe with the Wolfsburg goal scorer or something like that. I think that's a potential nice look. Obviously, you want to, if you're going to play him as straights, his goal is plus 210, and I think his assist is 280. So yeah, you're getting a little better splitting the unit there versus playing it straight. But that being said, it's kind of like, do you trust Milan here to, go score 2 or 3 goals? Probably not.
The only advantage I see is that they're at home.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it like, all right, Salamakers, Tonali, they move kind of Teo Hernandez into midfield here. Like Diaz, I mean, that's your Real Madrid guy. His form is inconsistent, we'll say. Like, when he's on it, he looks really good, capable of making mazy runs and setting up goals and scoring them himself. But I do think Leao, maybe we see a nice bounce back spot here. It had to have been something discipline or training wise.
Yeah, because
didn't really come out. Because
I have no idea why you take him off.
He's arguably your best player. Yeah. And, not starting him in a derby like that obviously didn't pay off for Pioli, but I think this could be a nice bounce back spot for him today. And, he'll be motivated here at least, unless, maybe he wants to go away this summer. I'm sure people will test Milan's resolve. But yeah, I think I'm gonna talk myself into Leao today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Nobody's got to try and sell me on Leao props. That's been my guy since the beginning of the year. His numbers have been pretty consistently in our favor. Supreme, I want to say McAfee's probably using FanDuel most of the time.
I'm using FanDuel here just because I know everybody has access to it. So, or at least most people that have our show or watching our show have access to FanDuel.
Correct. So yeah, that's probably where he was shopping that line on the goal or assist number.
Yep, 105 for Leao goal or assist if you're interested in locking that in on FanDuel.
So Yeah, you don't have to sell me on Liao props. I'm going to take a look at that after the show since I have more. Well, we're gonna wrap the show here about 20 minutes. I'll have plenty of time to look at that. For me, the most important thing is covering Germany because that will start as soon as the show ends. So I want to make sure I get my bets locked in for that. So back to Italy on Saturday. Lazio hosting Atalanta. Atalanta is playing really good football. I think that was a bullshit, baby shit, soft red card that they gave to them on Saturday versus Sassuolo. It really kind of ruined the game. It happened in the 30th minute. Atalanta kind of had to change their form, park the bus a little bit. Sassuolo managed an absolute worldie of a goal to win that 1-0. It doesn't discourage me. I think Atalanta played pretty good football still for what they were given for damn near 70 minutes. I'm going to go back to Lookman. I'm going to go back to Højbjerg. I don't think Lazio's good. I think they're frauds. I think that you're going to get a really good price on Immobile. I'm not going to take it. He's still injured. Like I've watched him play. He's not there. He's not 100%. He's not finishing. He's getting 65 minutes and getting pulled off. The threat of him on the pitch is nice for Lazio because it does make players accountable, but I don't see him finishing. So I'm going to make it a point not to get baited on the Cairo Immobile line unless it's above plus 200. Because once you get me to above plus 200, then regardless of how many minutes he plays, the value's there. But at 140, 150, in the form he's in, it's not there for me. So I like Atalanta on the road here too. I think they pick up a couple of points. Like I said, I think Lazio are pretty fraudulent. And what did I have? Yeah, Atalanta on a draw no bet is plus 120. I think Atalanta have the ability to go out and try and grab a top 4 spot where Lazio doesn't.
Yeah, Lazio. I mean, they got to get Immobile healthy. He's obviously another forward who is struggling with his fitness. Obviously, the manager there, sorry, doesn't think that he's got 90 minutes in his legs. He subbed him off the last 2 matches, and before that, he was a sub. Obviously, he's when on form, he's a great player to back for a goal. The price is getting to these points where you're like, geez, I got to play it. You know, it's Immobile.
Yeah.
Like, but he's not getting 90 minutes, and
you can see how he moves. He's clearly still hampered by
yeah,
injury.
yeah, he can't let her rip. He can't really open up and sprint, and so it's tough to back him. But as the focal point of their attack and as the penalty taker, I understand people wanting to continue to go back to that fishing hole. And so prices for things, I mean, it's a weird one here. Like I think I like both teams to score. Minus 150 is obviously, I'm not giving anything revolutionary there. But maybe just kind of the sit on the fence, both teams to score over 2.5 goals. I think it makes some sense. Lazio, I think at home are good enough to score. I think Atalanta are, they're going to keep attacking all the way to the final whistle, no matter what. So
Yep.
Give me both teams score. Yeah, both teams score over 2.5.
Nice.
Yep.
I definitely like it. Supreme. Great question. Continue asking questions like this anytime you want, man, because this is a great one. There is no value on Liao 2 shots on target plus 125, in my opinion. He's done it exactly twice in Serie A all season. He was benched for who knows why the last 2 games, but in 18 starts, he's done it twice. Liao is clinical. When he shoots, he's scoring. So unless you like Liao for a goal and potentially a big save by the keeper, I would not play his 2 shots on target. I would play his brace before I play his 2 shots on target. He's only done it twice all season in Serie A. So when Leao's shooting, he's clinical. That means he's finishing. So the goal is definitely more value, in my opinion, than the shots on target stuff, because when Leao gets into dangerous areas, he finishes.
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple things here. Like, I just, I'm looking at Matthias.
I also think it's going to be really hard to pepper the net on Torino. Like, Torino are sound defensively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play this to score or assist prop. I think I got to do it here because of my limits on the other things. I'm gonna give that out for Leao, and then let's see, copy, and then did we talk any more about another Serie A game, or were we still on? We didn't, right? We didn't move to like Udinese and Sassuolo or anything, right? We were just kind of
No,
recapping that. Okay.
we just wrapped Saturday stuff.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah. And
Good.
then Supreme, I do want to apologize. I was incorrect. Leao has done it a grand total of 4 times in Serie A this year. His in 3 of the 4 came in match week 2, 3, and 5. So the last time he put 2 shots on target was match week 16. You know, AC Milan, they've struggled lately. Like I said, like Traore was holding down that back line. He does so much for that team that without him, AC have just been in kind of shambles. So Supreme asked another good question. Mafi in France should find form. I want to say he still might be the top goal scorer in France. I fucking hate French league. I fucking hate it. I got stuck with them as my golden booty on my other show earlier this week, and I wasn't happy about it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to take a shot on it, I definitely don't blame you there. Mafi is a great player. He's in good form. I just French league for me, it's tough because I can't watch it. Like I'm not buying BN Sports. And I don't. There's so much other football going on that I don't seek out and watch French league unless there's what I deem to be less competitive games on. But I do enjoy watching Leal because I like Jonathan David. I don't like PSG, but I watch him anyway. But yeah, I mean, French league's it's tough. It's a tough league to handicap because I'm limited on how I can consume it.
So is he asking like for a goal scorer in the Nice match?
He was just asking what I thought about Mafi.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what his price is real quick. I mean, there it is, 3 o'clock. That one kicks off in 45 minutes. So 105. Shop it around. I mean, I don't necessarily love 105, but them and Nice at home is probably they're probably going to win this match. Minus 175 obviously implies as much. I do
he's got plus 140 on DK, so I definitely think that price is worth a look.
I think 140 is a nice price. Yeah, if you want to fire off there, I can get behind that. I think also I'm scrolling through their lineup here and making sure look and see. Okay, Turam, Ramsey. Yeah, I think if you're going to play a goal scorer, he's your guy. I think you knew that though already. So I know Supreme follows follows a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah. All right, we got about 15 minutes left. We're gonna crush the last couple of games here on Sunday. Leeds is hosting Man U in a repeat match that ended 2-2. Leeds looked really good to start, had a couple of injuries, and then Man U were able to find the back of the net. Rashford scored, who's on an absolute tear.
Yep.
I have no problem taking Rashford again. I like both teams to score over 2.5 here. I'm not going to pick a side. I like what I've seen out of Leeds. We'll talk about the Jesse Marsh stuff here after. I'll let McAfee give you any plays he's got, but I think both teams to score over 2.5 at even money is a pretty nice spot because we just saw this game.
One more time. Sorry, I was answering a question on here. Tell me what game you were on again.
Leeds hosting Man U.
Oh, yeah, Leeds United. I mean, it's bad time for Leeds. United have found a little form here. They did start brightly at Old Trafford and kind of faded in that second half. I think with Casemiro being back, or is he back, or is the suspension for more than?
He's 3-game suspension.
Three. Okay, you're right. I was thinking it was one game, but they gave him a larger ban. So, I mean, we've talked about it on our show a couple times about his importance to their midfield. You do see the drop off in quality there, but yeah, it's a tough match. Like I said, Rashford, anytime goal scorer at this price. I mean, you got to play it. He's in sparkling form right now, so I think both teams to score is another solid look. Leeds, especially with the home crowd behind them. It's -180, so obviously you got to have a dance partner. Both teams score over 2.5. Rashford goal, those types of things. Like you could kind of probably work yourself into a nice same game parlay. But I would just probably play Rashford straight and stay away from the side of this match. If you really want to back United here in lay 115, I guess I
don't trust him to get a result.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, good for you. I think you can cash that ticket. I think if that match is played 10 times, I do think they win enough where your -115 will be profitable. But unfortunately you don't get to run it 15 or 10 or 15 times to see that realized. So I think I would just play player props, and why not Rashford in this form at this price?
Yep. Next we got Juve hosting Fiorentina. Fiorentina away from home is garbage. They're just hot garbage. Juve, I'm not gonna say are great, but like they're definitely playing well and they're getting results in their own building. -110. Give me Juve.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track here. Vlahovic, obviously back amongst the goals.
This new battle with Fiorentina is so fun to watch. I think we're gonna see 5-6 cards here. There's definitely been a rivalry building with Fiorentina since Juve took Vlahovic from them, and it's been an entertaining match. I just don't think Fiorentina really have the quality to score more than one. So I like Juve here at home in their building. -110, I think, is a great price on them.
Yeah, I think I will probably just back Dusan to score at +125. There's no way.
My thing is Chiesa back? Because if Chiesa's back, that's
I mean,
that price should come up.
With Chiesa and Di Maria, I think they'll probably both be supporting Vlahovic, as the attacking winger / midfielder, whatever you want, a second striker role. It's just he'll be on the spot kicks, and
Yep.
he looks like he's got 90 minutes in his legs now. So I'm happy to back him. We don't have to worry about Milik coming in as a late sub because he's not fit right now. I think getting that kind of plus money price is I don't think it'll last all the way till Sunday before kickoff. I think by then
I think it will if Chiesa plays. So that's my only thing is if Chiesa is in the starting lineup, I think you end up getting a better price on Dusan.
really,
Yeah.
I think
Because
it'll.
then there'll be three guys who can score, or three guys who regularly score on the pitch as opposed to two.
Yeah, my guess is it'll drop down to about even, or maybe like minus 105 by kickoff. It's just not too many people are lining up to get money down on goal scorers for a match that happens in 48 hours.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, that's good for me. You want to move to the next one?
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty good.
Okay, stop there. We could talk current events in the.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
we can talk about the firing of Jesse Marsh now.
All right. Yeah, we'll start there. I know I wasn't happy to see it. I wanted to see the guy succeed. I want to see this American, team do well, but I think the results just the table doesn't lie. He wasn't getting enough points. And Leeds are too big of a club to sit around and wait. They can't risk that. Probably they know better than anybody what happens to a team. You get relegated. They were a team that routinely was competing at the top end of the table for decades, and even as recently as 20 years ago, were Champions League club, and they had to go into administration. I'm not going to go the whole history lesson and stuff, but they really can't afford to go down here. Too much investment in this team, and so my thought is, obviously who they pick as the guy to come in and lead the charge going forward is going to be important. But most importantly is compiling some points and getting yourself above that drop line. So I'm sure Jesse will land on his feet. I'm sure he can get a job in MLS if he wants it. I know people have said maybe they want to see him be a candidate if Berhalter loses his job at the national team. So
here's my problem with them getting rid of Jesse Marsh. Number one, who the fuck's walking around right now that's a better manager than Jesse Marsh? Nobody has one. I mean, you gonna go back out and get Bielsa again? Like, hey, if that's your move, then fine. Other than that, like, my other thing is Leeds. Like, I get that you don't want to go down, but seeing Everton pick up some points against Arsenal doesn't mean you need to fucking fire Jesse Marsh. You just gave him a transfer window. You just got him all of his guys, and then you're gonna let him go. That's piss poor business. That just screams terrible business tactics to me. I know you don't want to go down, and you've invested a lot of money. Maybe stick with your coach who's gotten you some very impressive results, like going to Newcastle away and coming home with points, going to Chelsea away, coming home with points, going into Man U and coming home with points. Like, those are big deals. You went into fucking Anfield and came out with 3 points. Like, I get that the results on the pitch aren't always what you want to see. That team, that is a young, growing, developing team that had a good long-term manager in place, and you didn't give him a year. He brought you were going down last year until you signed Jesse Marsh. Like, you were going down. And now, if you don't bring in somebody that's as good or better than Jesse Marsh, you're going down again. So I don't get the idea behind upsetting the apple cart when you're already in a perfect position to stay up. You had your coach, you had his guys in the building, they started playing good football, and you want to overturn the apple cart because your whole thing is, well, if we sit on our hands and go down, then we look like idiots. I think you look like much bigger idiots doing this and going down than staying with Jesse Marsh.
See, that's where I'll disagree, is because it's a proven results. People
It's a
wouldn't
good
sack
way
them.
to get you 3 points immediately. If you
Yeah,
fire
the
your coach, you can
managers
get 3. You can get exactly 3 points.
managers Marsh didn't have the belief of the fans anymore. The table didn't lie, and they've got a good director of football in there. He's the one that brought in Bielsa in the first time. He's recruited a lot of these players and built what looks to be a Premier League club and should be stable. You asked about who's available. I wanted to pull up a list of available coaches right now. I'm not sure how many of them would take the Leeds job, but Leeds are a pretty massive club with a lot of history, and so
A lot of support.
they great support. They've got ownership's willing to spend some money. Thomas Tuchel is available. Pochettino is available. Joachim Low is available. Luis Enrique is available. Zinedine Zidane.
Zidane's not going to Leeds.
I don't think he will. But I'm just I'm going through Rafa Benitez. If you want to stick with somebody that has Premier League experience, I don't think Gerrard or Lampard is a guy that they would look at.
That's not an improvement.
Right, but I think there's potential out there where you could grab a guy to come in there and do a job. Benitez to me would be a good hire. I think he brings stability, and Tuchel, if he would want the job, I think he'd be a target. And this is a good segue here. There's a lot of smoke around Ancelotti taking the Brazil job. And I know he came out and said, I've got a contract until 2024. I know the Brazilian media outlets are saying, there's nothing exactly finalized or anything like that. But I've seen Ancelotti say this before. He said it when he was at Everton, and then boom, he wasn't. And so I assume, these parties will always probably lie until it's official, just because you have to, out of respect for your current employer and stuff. What do you make of it? Obviously, I know you're a big Ancelotti guy. He's had a lot of success there at the club, but does look like Barca are going to win the league this year.
I'm not ready.
You're not ready to get that up?
No, absolutely not. Yo, we still have a game against Barca. When we walk into Camp Nou and take 3 points off of them,
right?
Then what are you gonna say about that's a 6
No,
I'm
saying,
not
right
you
now,
specifically. I'm talking to the
just
general audience. Like when Madrid beats Barca twice in the league for a 12-point swing, what are you gonna do then? Like you guys are. There's 18 fucking games left, and we're not playing again till Wednesday because we got this fuck ass Mickey Mouse Club World Cup that we gotta play. Like you don't. I get it. Everybody wants to crown Barca fucking kings of Spain again. There's a lot of matches between now and then, and Barca hasn't found their injury and bad form. They find every year, every club will drop points and have a bad spell where they're injured, there's red cards, and people pile up. Also, Barca hasn't had any of the extra stress that we've had. Their guys aren't playing deep runs in the World Cup. They're not playing it. They're gonna play Europa League ball. They're not playing UCL ball. They're not playing in the Club World Cup. They're not doing all this stuff that Real Madrid's doing.
That's why I think
Real Madrid's fine. Real Madrid's fine. We're gonna try and win the Copa del Rey. We're gonna try and win UCL, and then if we can get the league, we'll get the league. But yeah, I'm absolutely not ready to listen to people tell me Barca's got the league wrapped up. That's bullshit. And it's a fun narrative to push and create content on Twitter and online. But if people are ready to look me in the face and tell me Madrid's dead, they're wrong, because Madrid proves time and time again that they're the fucking Undertaker and they come back from the dead.
Yeah, what do you think? So say that does go through, and Ancelotti, he decides, I've done what I can with this group. This is just hypothetical. He says, I'm ready for the next thing, and Madrid are ready. I feel like there's enough smoke around it where Madrid are looking to the future here, because I think
They always are. They were
yeah,
looking
they're
to,
always are.
they were looking to move on from Ancelotti after he won us a double.
Right.
Like
Yeah. So
that's
do you
just
want to
kind of how
see?
Madrid do business. You're employed by Madrid until you're not.
Right.
But I think Ancelotti has a great relationship with Madrid, especially, and they'll let him know. And a lot of this stuff, like it goes on in the media, in front of other people's eyes, and we don't always know what's going on behind the scenes. I think that as long as Ancelotti's welcome, he will want to stay in Madrid. I
Yeah.
don't think that doesn't mean he can't do both. I think he can coach the Brazilian nationals and still coach Madrid. I think that he would. I think he
I
would
don't
be
think
great.
Madrid won't. They won't
I
allow
don't
that.
think Madrid will let that fly either.
They
No, I
fired.
agree with you.
Yeah, they fired Julian, the Wolves manager, because he took the Spain job.
Yep.
Like, so, yeah, I think.
I think Ancelotti would be a great fit in Brazil. He clearly has a great relationship with the Brazilian guys on our team. He clearly coaches a Brazilian style of football where they're fluid. You can play sound defensively when you need to, and then everybody's capable of switching into a high press attack, and that you can do. And Ancelotti loves switching between defensive ball and very aggressive ball within halves within games.
Yeah.
So I think that Ancelotti is one of the best coaches out there, period. End of story. And that anywhere he goes, he'll find success because he's just that talented of a manager. And the way that the relationships he builds with players is bar none. The way the guys in the locker room know he has their back is bar none. He's just an all-around great coach that I think will have success anywhere he goes. Obviously it didn't work out for him at Byron. I think that might have been a little bit of a culture difference there too, with how German stuff goes compared to, Spain and Italy and some other things. Byron has the reputation of being the big red German efficient machine, which is fine. It's just, sometimes that management style doesn't always mesh. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see Ancelotti at Brazil. I mean, you give me 27 Brazilians under Ancelotti management. I think that team can beat anybody on the planet.
Yeah. So who would you want to? Assuming he takes that there is some substantial, there's fire where there's smoke here, and he takes the job. Are you hoping? I know Pochettino and Zidane are kind of like the two favorites. Thomas Tuchel right there, kind of too. Is there a name you would want to see? Who would get you excited as the next Madrid coach if he takes off?
Tuchel doesn't get me excited at all. That doesn't move the needle for me. I think Zidane's been pretty clear that if he's going to coach again, it's going to be for the French national team.
Right. Yeah, it does seem like he's just he's bored of the politics at Madrid. Like it's just kind of wore him out a little bit.
Right. Well, that happens. Like that's part of the Madrid thing. It's like, listen, you don't have
I think Pochettino's
your club. You love us while we're here, but like we're also very callous when it comes to doing business because we're in the business of winning trophies and we're not in the business of handing out sweetheart cupcake contracts to guys who've already given us the most of their production.
Oh yeah, just ask Iker Casillas, club legend. But no, like all right. So
I mean, look, Casemiro, we got a good number. Do you think anybody in the club wanted to see Casemiro leave? Absolutely not. But we got
that was more of a
it was time for us to move on.
Yeah, that was probably more of a Mourinho thing, the Iker Casillas drama. But yeah, the other couple big things, looks like Aubameyang might be coming to MLS.
That would be sick.
Obviously, yeah, he'll be minus 200 for a goal. But I think he would light up the MLS. I think at this stage in his career, the American audience will love him. Like showing up
he could score 30 goals in the MLS.
Yeah, and him pulling up to matches in a Lambo and like just his whole aura. It's easy.
That
I think
fits LAFC's
right.
image so well too.
Yeah,
Like
he would be
if
a hit.
LAFC wants to go out and spend the money to get Aubameyang, I'm all for it because
Right.
it's gonna grow the league.
Yeah.
Same with if they want to go out and get any big name players. I saw Atlanta United just signed a Greek guy off of Celtic's roster.
Yeah, they signed the Celtic striker.
Yep.
Yeah, that should be a good signing
I'm
for them
really
too.
looking forward to seeing King Joseph down in Inter Miami. I think that's a great grab for them. Really disappointing finish there. If you guys don't know, I could talk about MLS for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Atlanta United, I think, is a really cool club, a really cool stadium. They have a great environment. They really, really care about football down there. The owner's a piece of shit. The coach they got from South America that was denying their fucking academy kids water during training practices, and then he tried to turn around and be like, "Oh well, King Joseph isn't in the building," blah blah blah. It's like, well, you're a piece of shit manager who's being a dick to everybody. Of course, Joseph's not gonna want. You threw him out of training and then tried to act like he was the problem, and then he came back and scored 18 goals for you. Oh, it turns out he's not the problem. Your dickhead ass manager's the problem, who had this reputation before, by the way, which is why I have a problem with Atlanta because, like, this guy had the reputation of being a total dickhead and being a piece of shit to his players and running terrible training camp. Dude, it's not the 60s. Like, it's not high school football where you can watch kids get concussions and pass out and tell them to eat some salt tablets. Like, that was just a whole bad, I thought that was a very bad look for Atlanta. So I'm excited to see King Joseph down in Inter Miami, who I think have gotten better. I think the East is super competitive this year. Zach Johnson getting traded from NYCFC up to Toronto instantly makes Toronto better. Pair a great keeper with those two Italian forwards that they got now. I think Toronto is a very big dark horse. Obviously, I'm a big Union guy. Union are returning, I want to say, all 11 starters and are loaded up. I think Union for the title at plus 800 is always a good look. Gazdag coming off a 26 goal, 10 assist season. He's got a bright future. I think this will probably be the last year we see him in MLS. He's done some really nice things for the Hungarian national team. I think he goes overseas here pretty shortly. Julian Carzana, who we signed off at Inter Miami, is balling out for us. He's playing good. Mike Yuri, who's playing really good for us. Andre Blake between the pipes. I mean, the Union are loaded top to bottom. I think the East is theirs to lose.
Yeah, looks like other MLS transfer stuff. Barcelona are going to sign Araujo away from LA Galaxy. Nice move for him. Obviously, big step up from MLS to La Liga. But I wish the guy good luck. He's a Mexican American.
He's earned it.
Yeah, good player. I
played
think
fantastic last season and tons of heart. No problem going up for big challenges. Great in the air on aerials. Great finish in front of the net. Can put the ball anywhere he wants it. Very, very talented player.
I think other than like the Man City drama with the financial fair play and the accusations, it seems like the entirety of the Premier League has gone up against it. It's all the other clubs are kind of in support of this, and we've always been suspect that they've been cooking the books. Some of these sponsorship deals are grossly inflated. And you're moving money from your left pocket into your right pocket, then into your back pocket, and then it just kind of just keeps moving around there when all these holdings of the same company and ownership are doing this. So I would like to see financial fair play and a lot of these things come with a little more
swiftness,
a little more teeth. I want some teeth behind it because UEFA kind of folded. They didn't have enough, I guess, to make it all stick. But The writing was all on the wall there. I think Pep
I think
doubling,
everybody
tripling.
swept it under the rug for the World Cup. Like that's
Well,
honestly what happened. Is
yeah.
everybody looked the other way for World Cup. I think
Mhm.
PSG's about to get blessed. I think Barca's about to do the fact Barca continues
Chelsea,
getting
like,
away with their shady shit and hasn't
yeah.
like their day of reckoning's coming. Especially if they come away with no fucking silverware this year,
Mm.
the Barca's done for. Like they're talking.
Well, as long as they get Champions League, I think they're fine. Like that's their whole.
No, if they come away
Uh,
with no silverware, if they don't win the league, they don't win Copa del Rey, and they don't win Europa, they have no fucking silverware. They have no money.
what? But I mean, how much do you win for winning La Liga versus being like third or, second or third? Like, I can't imagine the prize money is that significant. Champions League, it's that's where the
It's
honeypot
very
is,
significant, and
and
so is Copa
that's
del
what
Rey.
when they missed the 1 year. And I know the bank had been affording them some loans based on like future earnings from the Champions League. I know that can kind of screw things up, and I know that's part of what happened to Leeds and a lot of these teams borrowing money. Chelsea, the same kind of thing. Roman with his like 1.5 billion rolling debt. That's just that went nowhere. I don't know how, like, poof. And Bailey coming in and he's spending a $500 million already since taking over. Like it's not. I don't think it's very good for the game. I think the Premier League has already separated itself, and it worries me that the Super League is kind of inevitable
Oh yeah, the
because
Super League's gonna happen.
we see Barca and Real are 100% for it. They've climbed down a little bit. PSG's for it. Bayern's going to be for it. The English clubs are going to come along just because you got to grab a seat at the table for this thing. But however they hash it out, I mean, that's a conversation for another day. I know we're running a little long.
Me and dude, we could do a whole
Right.
fucking hour and a half show on that. Like,
Right. But I know these games are starting to kick off here now, so we'll talk more about that as it comes along. But yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit for some current events.
Absolutely, I love.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to have that at the end of the show. Love
Yep.
conversations like that. Like you said, when we talk like this, I obviously, I'm gonna get fired up about Madrid and Barca. You're gonna get fired up about City and Arsenal. And when it's all good here between me and you. Like
Absolutely.
we can both talk about this stuff. And when I say you, it's not directed at you, McAfee. It's
the greater
directed at the general audience of football. That if you guys think that the axe isn't gonna fall on Barca for what they've been doing here, then I think you got your head in the sand a little bit, because I mean they literally just the courts just forced La Liga to allow them to register players over the winter transfer window, because they're like, well, if you don't sign Gavi, then he's technically a free agent. And everyone's like, what fucking money are they signing him with? And they're like, stop asking hard questions like that. Just register Gavi, get him on the pitch, and we'll come deal with this after the season's over. So, all this kicking the can down the road stuff for Barca is eventually going to fucking bury them. It always does.
Well, then, let me ask one final thing, and then we can cut it out of here so everybody can go watch. You don't want to see them go away entirely, though, right? Because
no, I don't want to see them go away entirely.
Right, because then that
removes content for me.
Exactly.
Because then I don't have as good a content.
You can't. Batman can't lose the Joker, man. Like that's it's not interesting then anymore. So, I want to see just it all cleaned up. Like that's the thing. It's like make it all above board. Make it fair. Make it we all need to play by the same rules, and that way sporting merit it still means something. Right now, we love this sport, and we know that money kind of runs it. It doesn't guarantee you success, but it certainly does guarantee you a consistent seat at the table, and it earns you favor when push comes to shove. So, I hate to see Juve getting another penalty because they can't get it right. You know, that's another European giant that it's better when they're good. You know, when I was growing up, Juve was a monster. Like now they've fallen. They're still a huge club, obviously, but
Yeah, they won Scudetto 7 years in a row. If you guys weren't watching, like
yeah,
Juve
but
dominated Italy for a decade.
yeah, it's you know, we want to see them back up and doing well. So yeah, man, I think that's a good spot to leave it. Good luck on the bets today. I know Wolfsburg are starting a little slow. We're what, 15 minutes, 16 minutes
Yeah,
in
I
here.
had a couple of guys in chat let me know they missed a pen. That's
Yeah,
okay.
Maxie Arnold hit the woodwork here. It
Oof.
says, yeah, you know, that would have been a hell of a start for us for our money line and our team total looks. But yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
ready to
worried.
go. Ready to go watch this Milan match. Hopefully, Leao bags one early for us.
Yes, sir. As always, pleasure doing the show with
Yep.
you. Big shout out to our sponsors, Picket. You can sign up with promo code Burroaks,
Yep.
all capitals, promo code Matkafee, all capitals. Shout out to our sponsors, Boom, running great daily fantasy contests with player props. You know, if you're into NBA, they have a bunch of NBA. They'll have a promotion going on for the Super Bowl. They do NHL, and then MLB is coming up shortly, and I know we'll be talking MLB
No doubt.
between me and McAfee again because you know we're gonna continue doing soccer stuff, especially with MLS coming back and MLB and stuff like that. So you'll
Mhm.
continue to see plenty of content out of both of us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Supreme, thanks for sticking up with us, asking good questions, letting us know what's going on in the match, and everybody else in chat whose name I don't see on the screen. Appreciate you all. I'm Burroaks. That's McAfee. We're on Gold Boys Network, and we out.
See ya.